Hi, Connie. Sorry, it's just take two here. Don't know if you were in here earlier, but the cat's knocked something over and just messed everything up. I had to end up restarting the entire computer, and then I had to unhook this webcam, put another one on, and that one I thought was going to work, but it wouldn't focus on down here. It would just be all blurry. So then I had to plug the other one back up, the one that I was originally using, and finally it started recognizing this one again, and now I'm back. Oh, Hank's over there trying. He gave up. Now my vape won't turn on. Ugh. That's what happened. Aria was running to go get the treats, and she jumped across the desk. And when she did, she knocked my vape down, which knocked over my webcam, which ended up, or she knocked over my other tripod, which it fell on all the wires and it unplugged things and it messed things up. So that's what happened. And these are fresh batteries. I know they are because I just put them in here right before I started going live. I need a new vape mod. My whole world's falling apart over here, y'all. Hank, you're not getting anything done by laying beside her and biting her on the neck. That's not how those things work. Y'all, let's see if it'll get to him. There he is. Oh, come on. That's not exactly how mating works, Hank. Oh my. He hasn't quite figured it out yet. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's on top again. Okay, now he's got it. But you're not in the right spot. You're like, Hank, it ain't working. Not in the middle of her back, dopey. That ain't the way it works. You're too far forward. Oh, I think you're almost there. Nope, nope, you're too far forward again. Oh my, my, my. So how have you been, Connie? Okay, now maybe I can get back to what I was doing over here. Even though I took like a 30-minute break trying to get everything fixed back up. Hopefully we'll get the audience back. There's 6 of you here. All right. 6 out of the 23 that were here, which was actually starting to look really good because it's been a long time since I had that many in chat at once. and I was going good. One time it's going good, everything's got to fall apart, don't you know? I'm struggling to get the audience back that I had before I took my break, which I know that's kind of what caused it, and that's my own fault. But I'm really struggling to get the audience back that I was getting, because I was getting upper 40s, nearly 50 every single weekend before my year off. And now that I've come back, I'm struggling to get in the mid 20s every Sunday. But I've also lost 200 subs. Ooh, and a snowstorm. I miss snowstorms. It's the one thing about North Dakota I do miss. I actually miss the snow. I don't miss the 30 below. I don't miss the ridiculously high wind chill, ridiculously low wind chills. I don't miss any of that, but I miss the snow. Yay! Hey, hey, hey! Emmy Sue is back. Denise is back. Yeah, I guess I will, Denise. I don't know. I mean, I've been back now for 3 months, going live every Sunday, and I've put out a few new videos, like things, and I'm still holding right at the 1,500 sub mark, and I was at 1,700 before my break. Um, and like I said, I've been every Sunday night like clockwork going live 8 p.m. and I'm not gaining any more subs, and I'm not gaining any more people coming into the live. Like, I've only got half as many coming in now as what I had when I went live before. Welcome back, Sarah and Emmy Sue and Beth and Ashley and all y'all come back. All right, we're up to 11 now. Let's get them back up to 20 to 23 or 24 where I was when the camera got knocked over. So as I was saying before everybody came back, Aria jumped off of the TV stand across my desk and out to the kitchen because I was going to get them treats. And when she did, she knocked over my vape, which was sitting like right here. And when she knocked that over, she kicked it backwards and it landed on my other tripod, which fell on top of all of the wires that are going from the computer over there across my desk here. It landed across those wires, and none of them were unplugged, but my screen had gone black and y'all couldn't hear me. And so it had disrupted the camera signal in some kind of way. So I ended the stream. And when I ended it, I closed down Chrome altogether, reopened Chrome, went back to YouTube and tried to go live again. And it said my camera couldn't be accessed because it's already open in another application. And I'm like, but it's not open in any other application. So somehow or another, the computer was still thinking that I still had the camera going on YouTube for my previous live. So I was like, this is wrong. So I restarted the computer. And then when I did, I tried to come back into YouTube and it was still showing just a black screen. So I hooked up another webcam that I have here, but it would recognize it, but it wouldn't focus down here. Everything was blurry. And so I had to unhook that and rehook this one back up. And when I rehooked this one back up, it worked finally. So that's what took me so long getting back. Hey, Richard. That's a new face. New name, anyway. I don't see a face there, but it's a new name. Welcome, welcome. Oh, let me see something here. Something's not right there. Lift it up a little bit. There we go. There we go. Thank you, Emmy Sue. Thank you, Ashley. Yes, y'all, hit that like button. There's 11 of y'all here, 4 likes. Let's go. There's a little thumbs up button right down there below the video screen. Just got to maybe scroll down a little bit. It's right there. Of course, all of y'all are already subscribed, so I ain't got to worry about that. My arm tattoo, that's a Confederate Grim Reaper. He needs a recolor because the guy who did it, well, I got bit by a spider right there. And you can still see that big scar because it actually grew up like really high off my arm. There was a big knot on my arm there, and there was a big necrotic spot there that had turned black on top of that knot, about the size of a dime. And so when that finally healed, that skin went away, and that's a scar. But you see all of the white in there. The guy who did this did all the color and everything with a single needle, and he was digging it, gouging into my arm with it when he did it. It hurt like hell. But it never took the color in those spots. It scabbed up for like 2 months, and it never healed. And when it finally healed, there was no color. So I need to go have it recolored, and it's kind of fading. It used to be a lot sharper than that. But yeah, it's a Grim Reaper, and his cloak is the Confederate flag. And then I've got my Dale Earnhardt. That was done by the same guy. He freehanded that standing in my living room 3 days before Dale died. And then I've got my singing Taz on my farmer's tan. He needs some more color added. That was my first tattoo. I got him in 1990. I want to say late 91. He needs some recolor done too, but he's my singing Taz. I often thought about getting that one done as a diamond painting. If I could find somebody that could draw that up for me on some kind of a background and get that done as a diamond painting, I think that would look awesome. The artist that did that, I don't think she does tattooing anymore. It was at a tattoo parlor just outside of the Millington, Tennessee, where the Navy base is there north of Memphis. And that tattoo parlor hasn't been open in years. That's the only 3 I got. Just those 3. I think I'm going to get a Ravens logo and the Alabama logo done somewhere. I don't know where yet, but I'm going to get those done somewhere. I want to get another Dale Earnhardt one. There's one that I really, really want. I think it's going to have to be big and on my back. But there's a picture of Dale. Let me see if I can find it. It's my favorite picture of Dale Earnhardt. And he had just won his 6th or 7th Cup championship. And he was sitting on the ground beside his car, hugging the trophy. And it's such a great picture of him. And I said that if I got a tattoo done of him, I would want that done on my back. So it's taller and thinner nowadays. Sarah or Sandra. Fine. Don't show me no love then. There. That one right there. That's kind of my favorite picture of Dale. And I would love to get that done on my back. Either that one or that one. That was his 7th championship. Oh no, Beth for sure. That's for sure. I would research and I would travel to go get that one done by somebody that could do it good. I was looking through weird tattoos one day. What do I have no idea about, Emmy Sue? What? You just have no idea. Okay. I don't have an idea. But I was looking through images of weird tattoos, and a guy had, when Barbara Walters had retired from TV, I guess some guy was like just a huge Barbara Walters fan, and he had a tattoo of her done on his calf. I mean, it looked just like her, but I thought, of all the people in the world you could have tattooed on you, Barbara Walters. But see, what my claim to fame on my Dale tattoo is, the one that I have, the signature with the number, is that I'm one of the few that got it done before he died. Granted, it was 3 days before he died, but it was before he died. I had a friend of mine. I used to use LimeWire and download music all the time, and this guy knew that we knew how to do it, me and my ex-wife. And he was a tattoo artist. He was my brother-in-law's brother, my wife's sister's husband. Um, it was his brother that did them. And he says, I'll do y'all a solid. He says, I'll give you a list of music that I want. He said, for every 10 CDs you download and burn for me, I'll give you a free tattoo. And you can decide which one of y'all gets it, me or my wife. She got most of them. But that's where my Confederate Reaper and my my Dale Earnhardt came from. And he came to the house, and I said, hey, man, I'm going to collect on one of them free tattoos. He's like, all right, what do you want? And I just happened to look over, and there was a window decal for your car that just had that number 3 and Dale's signature underneath of it. And he stood right there in my living room and free-handed it on my arm. And it turned out just spectacular. And that's why I trusted him to do the Confederate Reaper. And he screwed that one up royally. But I think he did that on purpose, because I found out later on he was banging my wife. So he probably did it on purpose to cause pain. bug murderer. Yes, I am a bug murderer. I only murder the bad ones. You know, we don't kill the bees. We're very strict about killing the bees. Matter of fact, it is against the law for us to knowingly kill bees. And I'm not allowed to touch the snakes, Beth. I actually ran up on a copperhead that one day, and I was told I had to leave him alone. We are not allowed to mess with them. That wasn't my first instinct. When I see a copperhead, I want to kill it. But, yeah, no, not allowed to mess with them. But I face huge fines and possibly even jail time for knowingly killing bees, which is part of our job. Is when we're spraying the outside of a house, we actually have to avoid spraying near blooming plants because we don't want to harm the bees. So we only murder the bad bugs like the termites and the roaches and the ants. And even some spiders. Speaking of, I was watching a guy last night. It's called Jack's World of Wildlife here on YouTube. He's kind of a younger guy. And he willingly allowed himself to be bitten by a black widow and a brown recluse. And then documented all of the after effects for like the next couple of days. And it was pretty wild. Yes, sadly, Ashley, I do some rodent murdering. We do have a rodent division. As a matter of fact, I just sold a $720 rodent job the other day. So I get a quarter of the commission off of that. But I've also got to be the one to go out and put the bait boxes out around the apartment complex. Oh, you got a custom done by Broil. You know what? Man, that really didn't work. There we go. I didn't think about doing custom through them, but I still got that. I still want to do a custom through Dreamer Designs so that I can give a good review on my channel about that. And I think I want to trust Dreamer to do one of my granddaughter. Let me see if I can find that photo. Facebook, messages. One where I talked to my daughter-in-law because she sent it to me. Yeah, it won't let me. Oh, there we go. There's the picture of my granddaughter that I want to have done as a custom. I mean, it's kind of hard to see because the camera isn't picking up the face properly and all. Because it's too bright. Wow. But that's what I want to get done as a custom. And I think that will look really, really good. Yeah, domesticated mice and rats are different than the wild ones. Like the wild ones are Norway rats and roof rats, and they destroy things. Emmy Sue says, roll over, tide roll. Okay. I see how, man, every time I put it away, I find another one. I've done put this canister away twice now. And both times I found another one. Okay, I don't see no more. Yeah, that was an awesome picture of her, Beth. I really like that one. I was at that was the competition I went to in Huntsville, and they had a professional photographer there, and then they were selling the pictures of the girls individually to them, of them in competition, and that picture came up, and I was like, I must have that one. So when my daughter-in-law bought the package of the pictures, then all of them that contained Briley, then she sent me that one so that I could have it done as a custom. Hi, Hank. Wrecking ball. Your big orange wrecking ball. You know that? Oh, that's cute. Hey, Emmy Sue, he kind of looks like Mr. Tickles. Oh, I know I've got some of these. There they are. Hank. This is, you see what I got to work around over here, y'all? This has been like every day lately with Hank, and I don't know why. He's not normally like this. But here lately, every day, this is right where he wants to be when he's not sleeping. Please move the tail. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, so you should make your YouTube profile picture your picture of Mr. Tickles. You wouldn't have thought that earlier if you'd have seen him, Denise. Today, he has been quite the jerk. Like, he'd get up here on this desk and he'd knock these over on purpose. He'd just come up here and just knock them off the desk. And then he was actually he was using his claw to pull these out and just wherever they went, they went. And then he got done with that and he got upset with me and got up here on the desk, on the other desk, and was just knocking stuff off of there on purpose while looking at me, looking me dead in the face. And I'm telling him no. And he just goes, bloop. There he is. There's Mr. Tickles. I see him. Yeah, that's what it is. But she hasn't been like this all week. She just started that today. So we've got another whole week of it. I think me being gone at the job all the time, being gone at work, and like a lot of times I'm leaving here like 7:15. I don't have to be at work till 8, but when they've got me scheduled 45 minutes away at 8:15, I've got to be at work earlier to be able to pick the truck up and go. Because when the girls schedule us, they don't leave, they don't figure in drive time. They just figure, oh, well, work hours are 8 o'clock to 5 p.m., so I'll schedule them for 8:15, but they don't look at the map to see how far away these people are. I mean, at least they stick to, scheduling mostly in that town for the day. Now, the other day, the one thing we're not allowed to reschedule. Now, if say there's somebody on my schedule that can't do it at like the time the girl scheduled it, because I always call all of my customers that are on the schedule that day to just confirm that they still want me to come today and whatever. And some of them say no. Well, the only ones I cannot reschedule are the initials, which are, brand new customers. I'm not allowed to reschedule those. And invariably, they'll throw an initial in Ethelsville, which is northwest of Tuscaloosa, about, 40 minutes. They'll schedule an initial in Ethelsville for like 1 p.m. But then they've got me at 12 o'clock in Aliceville, which is 40 minutes southwest. And the only way to get between the two of them is county roads, dirt roads, There ain't no major highway that goes between those two towns. It's all curvy back roads through rural Alabama. And a typical service takes about 20 minutes if you're just doing a normal inside-outside service. It takes 20 to 30 minutes. So they schedule me at 12 o'clock in Aliceville, 20 to 30 minutes. That leaves me leaving Aliceville at 12:30, and they want me all the way up in Ethelsville by 1 o'clock for this initial that I cannot reschedule. And it's like, really? And the one we definitely cannot even be late for, we're not even supposed to call our customer and tell them we're being late on those, is the initials. Any other one, if I'm running late, I can call my customer and say, hey, I'm running a little bit late. No, we have to be on time for an initial because we want to make a good first impression with the customer. And I get it. But obviously the people doing the scheduling don't get it. Another thing they don't do is they don't schedule in a lunchtime. And actually, that doesn't bother me too much. But I would like a chance to take that hour break and just, relax. Or at least have that hour to get myself caught up on time and everything. Oh, Karen. And see, I'm thinking just the opposite, Karen. It's like I'm sitting here diamond painting, but I really need to get back to the cross stitch I've been working on. Beth finished the one that Midnight's Garden that she was working on. And I used to be way ahead of her on that one. And she's finished it, and I've still got about 40% of mine to do. According to Pattern Keeper. I'm at like 59% done. Karen, I am working on the Magical Castle by Royal Diamond Painting. It's massively huge. It's a 165 by 100. It's no longer available through Royal. They don't offer this particular image anymore. It's from their old supplier. It's had all kinds of troubles with this one since I got it. They've had to have the drills replaced. Well, we had to have the kit replaced once because it was misprinted when I first got it. And then it just had to have the drills replaced. So I had gotten a good chunk of it done, and the drills were popping, and I contacted her, and she sent me all the drills for it. So I'm trying to find, there it is. It is that image right there. Except there's a lot more sky on the one I'm doing. There's a lot more sky up here above it. And the part you're looking at is just this bottom corner right here, over to about the midpoint of the door, and then up to about the bottom of that balcony straight across. And there's the bottom of that balcony right there. There's the door. And then there's the water at the bottom in the reflecting pool. It's 100 colors. It's 165 by 100 with 100 colors. Oh, wow. The only cross stitches I have right now going on are Carolyn Manning's. I have Midnight's Garden, which Beth has now finished, which I was well ahead of her on that one. But she's finished hers now. And then that one is called Rockhound. That's by Carolyn Manning. It looks like a bunch of agate slices. Emmy Sue's almost got hers done of that one. Her and I were kind of collaborating on it, but I kind of got way behind. Karen, you don't need to spend a lot to frame them. Go back and look through my videos back into 2019 and look at some of those, the Starry Night Santa. Okay, I did that one on camera and how to frame it, and I put a link to where you can get the frames. And I also did the unicorn, the big framing. There's a video called Framing the Unicorn. And it shows you how I use the frames, where you can get them. And they're only like $12 or $13 a frame. I mean, max maybe 15 for a big painting. Oh, Karen, I'm a rock junkie too. I'm a rock hound. So that when I saw the name rock hound and I saw that it looked like a bunch of agate slices, I I I gotta have that one because I do have some agate slices here. I've got a whole dish of agate slices here, like that one. These are, I'm into rock tumbling. Got that one there that's actually got inclusions in it. There's some, see if it'll zoom in on it. That one's actually got moss and some other stuff inside of it. That's a piece of polished dinosaur bone. And then I've got like little pieces like this. And they're all like kind of semi opaque, like you can kind of see through them a little bit. Inclusions means that when they were formed, agates are formed by mineral rich water seeping into a cavity of a rock. And over time, those minerals harden into, it's mainly microcrystalline quartz, is what agates are. They drip down into this seepage, into this little cavity in a rock, and it forms this kind of a rock. It's kind of see-through-ish, like you can kind of see the light kind of shines through it there. But what happens is if there's like moss or something inside that thing, it'll just harden and encase that moss, and that moss is an inclusion. Like on this one, all of that dark colored stuff in there is all moss that's included inside the rock. So it's like prehistoric moss in there. See if I'll get it to focus on it. Probably not. This one's got a lot of it in it, and it's very see-through. Like, but all of that brown is like little pieces of, little chunks of moss. This is one of my favorite ones. It's tiny, but it's real pretty. Yeah, but it's pretty cool thinking that that's prehistoric plant life that you're looking at, like that one there. That's what they call a moss agate. This one's got a lot of it in it. It's almost like glass see-through, but it's got a lot of moss inside. Now, when we got all of these, they were just rough cut rocks, and threw them in the tumbler for a month, and that's what they come out nice and shiny and polished. And there's that one. Hello, Nana. You missed all of the fun of the camera getting unhooked and everything. There's another one from that other, same other rock. See, See, I'm quite the rock hound. I've got buckets and buckets of polished rocks, unpolished rocks. Got 3 tumblers. 2 of them are, well, all 3 of them are industrial grade tumblers in the closet that I need to pull out. I need to get some more grit for tumbling, so that I can start tumbling some of the stuff that are in the buckets in my closet. Yeah, the different colors are all, it is, Beth. It's kind of mind blowing. But yeah, it's the different colors in rocks are all made of something else. Like whenever you see red in a rock, that's iron. It means there's a high iron content in the water that formed that rock. The water that was dripping in, it picked up iron along the way, and inside that microcrystalline quartz got iron stained, and it turns red. So on any kind of red rock it's got a lot of iron content in the crystal. Your purple amethysts are a different element or a different mineral, causes a purple staining to the quartz. That's all amethyst really is just quartz. It's just purple stained by some other mineral that comes in it. Topaz, same thing. It's just quartz. It's not a special kind of rock. Like a diamond is its own thing. Like a diamond is formed with carbon under high pressure and high heat over a long time, creates a diamond. But pretty much all of your other gemstones that you see that are like birthstones and stuff, they're all just different colored quartz. No, red clay is red because of the amount of iron content in the soil. That iron still oxidizes and turns into basically rust, and over time that flakes off into sand, and that's where your red clay comes from. And at some point in time, water dripped through that red clay, picked up some of that oxidized rust, and carried it into a crevice in the ground somewhere in a rock, and it eventually created microcrystalline quartz ball, for lack of a better term, that was the shape of that crevice or that cavity in that rock. And then eventually the rock erodes away around it because the rock is probably softer than the quartz, and when it does, the agate pops out, and then you find it wherever, and then you can slice that agate, and that's where you see the different colors inside of it. Like these right here, the rocks you find in your driveway, like the everyday flat river pebbles, you can polish those up and they end up looking like an agate. There's one right there. See how it has the red color to it? You find those in your driveway every day, all day long. That's quartz. It's called quartzite. It went through a different hardening process than what the agate does. And so the grain of the rock on the inside, if you break this open, looks different than an agate. An agate would be nice and smooth and kind of looks waxy looking. If you break this one up, it looks like it's made of like hardened together sugar. They're both quartz. They both just went through a different hardening process. But that one's got some red staining in it, so the water that got into that got through some kind of iron oxide. And that's one of those driveway rocks that's not polished. So that's before polish, and then that's after. Or that's more like after, because this one's got some pinkish tone to it. And this is actually a piece of red jasper. And jasper is really nothing more than an agate that isn't see-through. It's got a little bit more of the mineral in it than the agate does, so it makes it opaque instead of transparent. And then there's a piece of amethyst cut into a heart shape and polished. I carry that in my pocket all the time, wherever I go. Kahoot, Karen, is it's like a trivia game you can play online. We played it in Zoom a lot. One person would have to share their screen, and they're the ones that show the questions. And then everybody goes to a different part of Kahoot, and they just bring up the answer screen. You use a PIN code that's generated by the computer when they open up the quiz, and everybody enters that into their answer screen, so they all join that game. And then you just answer multiple choice questions. For the most part, there's a lot of true and false too, and it's just trivia, and it's really cool. Yeah, unless it's Disney and Pink Poodle wins, unless it's Christmas and Sandra wins. Sandra's our Christmas queen. Who was it that beat you a couple of times, though, Sandra? Was it Ashley? I think it was. Indian beads, mostly, they're mostly like onyx. You get white onyx, black onyx. Some are agate, some are jasper, and they use a lot of hematite as well. And hematite are really nothing more than iron, but the oxidation on them causes them to polish up like a silvery black. I can't get my vape to work now, y'all. Yeah, we get really competitive with Kahoot. And then they get tired of losing to me, so they do a Disney quiz that I know absolutely nothing about Disney and Disney princesses and Disney trivia, but they do it on purpose because they know they can beat me at it. That's why they stack the deck against me. Hematite looks weird. It looks like just a regular old rock. And then when you cut it, it bleeds red. It's really strange. When you cut a piece of hematite, it bleeds red. That's how you know it's hematite. But when you polish it, it polishes to like a silvery black, and it's magnetic. Now you can get, you call them Indian beads. There's actually pieces of obsidian that you can get that are called Apache tears, because they're like little, they look like little beads, and they're obsidian. You can polish those, and they are absolutely beautiful. But those are actually a volcanic glass. And what it is when the volcano, just like Pele's hair, or is it called Pele's hair? I can't remember. The stuff in Hawaii that looks like little hairs is actually, volcanic glass in long spaghetti strands. Um, that comes from lava that's exploding up out, cooling on its way down as it falls, and it's strung out. But the same thing happens with Apache tears, is they're drops of lava that harden on their way down, and they just form like a little droplet, little tiny piece, and it's just a little tiny bead of obsidian. Yeah, because hematite is nothing more than it's oxidation. It's just a big chunk of oxidation, but it's magnetic. I think I miss my calling. I would love to be a teacher, but I don't want to deal with other people's kids all day. I don't have the patience to deal with the kids, but I'd love to be a teacher. I barely escaped my sanity with mine. You sent me a pic on Messenger or text. Oh, there it is. Oh, those are fossils. Those are chronoid fossils. Yep, we find those here in Alabama all the time, only not as big. Those are fossilized sea creatures. I've got a couple of smaller examples of those. I can understand why, because they do have a hole through the middle, and they're like, yeah, I get that. I could see them being called that. We have a lot of fossils here along the Cahaba River. You can break apart the shale that's along the Cahaba River, and there's fossilized nautilus shells and stuff like that. Mostly those things there. There's a lot of those everywhere around here. We are playing Kahoot later. Okay, I'll have to hop in Zoom. Uh-huh. I have to hop in Zoom so you can change the subject to something that you know I know nothing about. And then you get the chance to laugh at me when I lose. can't wait till my new trays come in. I'm so looking forward to those. They will probably end up replacing this Archer's tray. Oh, I bought them from Firefly, Nana. Karen, you will have to watch the video when I get them because I am definitely going to feature them in a video when they arrive. But they're just like a much better design than anything I've seen yet. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to spoil the whole secret, you know. You'd be playing quietly in the background. Come on, Beth. You need to jump in and actually play with us. See, Beth's holding out on us over there. That's what it is. See, she'd probably be able to beat all of us, but she just doesn't want to. Uh-oh. We in trouble. Ashley had a gummy. I can't have the gummies because my job does random testing. I would get in trouble. And then I would have no job. Man, our job is strict as hell. Like, as far as testing goes, if we so much as like step in a hole in a customer's yard and twist our ankle and have to go to the doctor for it, we have to go take a drug test. They actually keep drug testing sheets in every truck for us to take to the drug testing place. If we have an accident, like an actual vehicle accident, we have to be drug tested. And if we get hurt at a customer's job, at a customer's house, while we're on the job, we have to go be drug tested immediately. So we actually keep blank drug testing forms to take to the lab in trucks. So I cannot do gummies or Delta 8 or Delta 9 or Nana, their Etsy store, yeah, is down, but their website still works. That's where I ordered mine from, was off their website. Yes. It's fireflydp.com, if I remember correctly. Oh, no. It's fireflyda.com. Yeah, I didn't get anything done. I didn't get any like special name or anything done on the side. I'd kind of like to get my YouTube name done on top of the lid with like a raised diamond on top. Like I've seen some of the other ones that she's done with like a turtle up there and stuff like that. Yeah, I saw him at T-Mall's live. Not this past one, this past Friday night, but last week. She showed him in her live when she unboxed them, when she undid all of her mail and stuff. And I was like, I have to have one of those. And they've got that starter kit with two of them. And when I said, oh man, those things are, when I looked at the dimensions, I was like, well, they're the same size as my archer's tray. I was like, that's awesome. That's the only thing that's really kept me from buying a lot of other trays because most of them are smaller than my archer's tray. And I like my tall walls on this one. Huh, don't have any of that one. Okay. Um, I don't have any of that one either. No, I don't. Do I have circle H's? Yes, I do. A lot of those. Yes, Firefly Diamond Art. I have a set of the Flint X. I think it's called the Flint X Starter Set. It's a 2-pack. I love the idea that you can put the lid on the top of it and then shake all your drills down to the funnel and then slide the little thing over to let them out. That's going to revolutionize my whole system over here. No more shaking them all down to the corner and some of them get stuck up here and whatever. And then I got to tap on it. When I do, it shoots other ones out of the tray. It's got that lid. You can just do that, shake it down to the funnel, slide the little slide over, and it drops them right into your container. Hank, get up there behind me, please, buddy. Thank you. Karen, I am using Beth Minton's wax that she makes. It's actually it's a mud. It is called Not Your Mama's Mud. She sells it on Etsy. Beth, you can put your Etsy link up there. They're scented. This one here is Sweet Bee. It's a honeysuckle scent. This one is named after me, Dave's Lemon Drops. Kind of a funny story how that one came to be. This is Drea's Island Dreams. that I think Amber ended up buying and left behind. And then there's an older thing of Dave's lemon drops that I'm still working on from back when Beth first started her Etsy of the Dave's lemon drops. It's like 2019. This stuff is awesome. It's about the only thing I use in my pens anymore, and it lasts forever. As I said, this I got in 2019, and I have used it and used it and used it and used it, and I've still got that much left. And when you put it in the pen, I was talking earlier, this is a 10 by 10 section right here. So I did that 10 by 10 section, that 10 by 10 section, and a good chunk of this one before I had to change my wax out. And Beth makes it herself in small batches, and then she lists them on Etsy when she has a batch ready. And when it's sold, it's sold. You just got to wait until she makes some more of that scent. And when she lists it, it usually goes pretty fast. Hello, Diane. Oh, speaking of diamonds falling or drills not falling right. So Amber messaged me the other day and she says, guess what I got? I got a new tray coming. She got one of those ones that has the whole grid on the inside that the squares are supposed to fall right in the middle of each little grid. And I'm like, I don't see that as working very well. I mean, because it looks to me like when you go to shake the diamonds to get them to go down to the end where the spout is, that they are just going to bounce off those grid marks and just go flying everywhere. And sure enough, she got it in and she messaged me yesterday because you were right, they do. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I won't buy one. To me, it just seems like a waste of money. Why would you want a diamond painting tray that separates the drills into little grid spots all over the tray? Like, I mean, you can see I line mine up pretty good in there. Just a little shake and they line up pretty good. I don't need a crosshatch pattern in there for a little spot for each drill to fall into. Yes, it is, Diane. It's really coming along. I've just been like, when I get off work, I just want to come home and sit down and do this. I don't feel like doing anything else. So I've actually been getting a lot done on it when I get home at night. And then I end up falling asleep here in my chair. And then waking up at like the wee hours of the morning and going to bed. That's not really good for me. Oh, almost done with this color. I never would have thought there was this much confetti in this painting. But I guess because of all the shading, uh, and being that there's 100 colors, that it uses a lot of those colors just for the shading purposes. Which just means a ton of confetti. Yeah, Cats Gallery. I'm still live. The cats these cats knocked over something and they disconnected my computer or disconnected my camera or something, and I had to restart my live, and I went through a little issue with it in the process of trying to restart it. So I was gone for like 15-20 minutes trying to get it sorted. Hi, Hank. Hi. Yeah, I see you. I know you exist. Yes. I know you exist. No, it didn't. Hank didn't do it. It was Arya this time. She jumped off. I was going to get them treats, and she jumped off the TV stand, which is like right behind where the camera is. And she jumped to my desk, and my vape was sitting like right here. Well, she knocked the vape over onto this little trash can that I've got sitting down here, like right at the foot of the desk. And normally on that trash can is my other tripod that I use when I'm on like Zoom and stuff. And she knocked that over, and when it fell over, it landed on top of the wires of everything that's coming to my desk, like my camera, my microphone, my keyboard, my mouse, because my computer is literally like right there. And then the wires all come off the USB ports on the top front of the computer, and they just come across, they span the gap between this desk and the computer. And it fell over into those wires, and it disconnected something. And then it caused my computer to go nuts and not be able to recognize my camera, made it not like want to use it when I tried to go live again because it thought it was still being used in the other live, which I had already shut down. It was just a mess. So I had to restart the whole computer, and I'm going to have to restart Hank here in a minute. That's right. Going to restart Hank. Boop. 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 You better go look out the window and see what made that noise out there. Yeah. You my watch cat. You're supposed to be watching. And I got cat fur in my face where he just rubbed against my face. Mr. Hank, you got eye boogers. Okay, Nana. See you later. He's ignoring me. I'm trying to keep up over here. You trying to say I'm boring? Huh? Not you, Nana, not you. Ashley over here she's trying to say I'm boring. I'll see you later, Nana. No, you didn't say nothing. It's Pink Poodle there with her little bed and snoring guy emojis and trying to tell me I'm boring. I get it. I see how it is. I already know that, though. I know I'm not being entertaining here. But Dave don't dance, so I ain't going to do a song and dance show for y'all. I'm not exactly the best comedian in the world. So I figure all y'all come to see Hank anyway, so. I know you are, Ashley. I'm just messing back. Ugh. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to record a 2.5 hour time lapse. Not a time lapse of 2.5 hours of work. Literally a time lapse that's 2.5 hours long. Just make everybody sit through a 2.5 hour time lapse. Maybe get like 4 sections done. Oh, I'm sorry, Diane. Hank is sitting here going to sleep, sitting up. Do you know how weird you are? Yeah, I know. You do. He's sitting here staring at me. It's creepy. Why are you creepy? Oh, you're here to see Hank and Aria. Okay, yeah, okay. I don't know where she is. She finally calmed down. She went away somewhere. Probably why Hank's right over here and like, hey, Dad, she's not here. Okay, here. There's Hank. There's the Hank. You're here for the noise in the background. Oh, congratulations, Emmy Sue. Hi, Hank. Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, I don't. The only noise I got in the background you can't even hear. Unless you can hear that train. Yeah, my house is just so noisy. And you know, Denise, he hasn't been that way for a while. I mean, when I first got him and he first kind of bonded with me, he was like this. He was always had to be on my desk. If you go back through my old earlier videos from the beginning, he was always laying up on my desk while I was working or whatever. He was always out of the way. But now it's just like every day I come home from work, I sit down at my desk and he's got to be right here. No matter how many times I move him, he will come back to right here. I understand. I was gone all day. He misses me. But Lord. And Arya usually is, she doesn't come out very often. She just goes and hides under the bed or sleeps in the bedroom. She comes out when it's time to eat, and that's about it. But when she's in heat, she has always got to be right near me somewhere. Usually it's, I had to keep these wires that they messed up. Usually have to keep them up off the floor because if not, she'll get down there and she'll rub her face on all of them and get tangled in them and then be pulling everything off my desk. And when she comes out of the room, she comes straight to those, and that's exactly where she runs straight to those wires to get tangled up in. I think she's into bondage. You'll have to tell me about it, Emmy Sue, after I get off live. I'm interested to hear who this is now. I don't mind seeing actors, directors, producers, or whatever get awards for the work they do. I don't mind seeing that at all. But if they would leave the acceptance speeches to, I'd like to thank this person, that person, the other person, and to just get off stage, I wouldn't mind watching. But instead of thanking everybody that helped them get that award, they want to get up there and make some kind of opinion speech about something that has nothing to do with the movie that they were in. And to me, it's just like, I don't want to watch that. And I don't care which side that is that they're talking for. I just don't want, you know. That's kind of the reason why I don't watch the award shows anymore, because that's pretty much all it's become. No, Aria doesn't spray. Um, I've never had Aria spray. Hank will spray, and he's fixed, and Hank will still spray. Um, it's funny. Right after Amber moved in with me, he sprayed her. He stood right up on the desk in front of her while she was diamond painting and sprayed her. Well, she ain't doing much more pooping in his bed. See, we were talking about that in Zoom the other night too, about Oscar-winning movies, and the movies. None of the movies I like are ever even nominated for an Oscar. It's like maybe I got bad taste in movies. I don't know, but most of the movies that win Oscars are not things that I would tend to watch anyway. For the most part, um, we were discussing, and I used the example of that movie. Was it Life of Pi? It was a movie about a guy and a tiger in a rowboat, and it won like a bunch of Oscars that year. I don't get it. Maybe it was a good movie. Maybe I don't know, but it just doesn't seem like the kind of movie I'd be into. But see, I'm more into stuff like Joe Dirt and Adam Sandler movies and stuff like that. So Avatar was a good movie, the first one. I didn't see the second one. No, Joe Dirt will never get an Oscar, but to me, it was a really good movie. Just like Talladega Nights was a really good movie, and that'll never get an Oscar. And Days of Thunder was an awesome movie. It was actually nominated, though. Days of Thunder was nominated for its category. I think it was under drama. Just tell me this: did did the new Top Gun do as well with the Oscars as they expected it to? Because they expected it to take a lot of awards this year. What's wrong with Talladega Nights? Huh? I'm on fire. Help me, Jesus. Help me, Tom Cruise. Yes. Great movie. Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell is like a great actor. Will Ferrell is like the Tom Hanks of comedy. You know, Tom Hanks can fit into just about any role out there. I mean, look at the ones he's played. Forrest Gump. He played the Colonel in the Elvis movie. He's played Castaway. I mean, so many good Tom Hanks movies. He even played Mr. Rogers. Um, he can fit into any role you want him to in a drama type movie or a biographical type movie, whatever. But Will Ferrell is like the Tom Hanks of comedy. Like you can put Will Ferrell into any comedy role and he will just be perfect. He's the modern day Chevy Chase. Yes, Will Ferrell is the Tom Hanks of comedy. I really wish that when they redid the National Lampoon's Vacation movie, and they modernized it and remade it, I really wish they'd have gotten Will Ferrell to play the dad instead of um, what's his face, the guy that ended up playing the dad. I really wish they'd have got Will Ferrell to do that part. Okay, so maybe I do have bad taste in movies according to other people, but I like them. But you're also talking about the same guy here who will sit and watch 3.5 hour uh, movie of Gettysburg and be able to recite it almost word for word. Oops, I missed some over there. More Cowbell is one of the most legendary Saturday Night Live skits. I remember watching Saturday Night Live the night that they did that. And I thought it was funny then. And I never knew at the time that it would be the pop culture icon that it became. That was back when I was still in high school, and I watched Saturday Night Live every Saturday night. Oh, I don't dismiss the classics. I think there's a lot of good classic movies out there. I love Ben-Hur and the Ten Commandments. And I know this is going to sound like heresy to you, Emmy Sue, but I have never seen Gone with the Wind all the way through. I would love to. I just never have seen it. I need to see it at some point. But at the same time, I will sit down and put on an entire movie marathon of all 9 Star Wars trilogy movies in order. And I'll even include Solo and Rogue One in there in the spots where they go. to help complete the rest of the story. So, 11 Star Wars movies. And if you want to watch the animated one, the Clone Wars, that's actually considered canon as well in the Star Wars universe. And so you can fit the Clone Wars in there in the first trilogy. Well, the first trilogy is actually the second trilogy that came out. But yeah, those are actually included in canon in the Star Wars universe. So if you really wanted to throw that in there too, I've never seen Clone Wars, so I really wouldn't know. I did that with Lord of the Rings. I watched the Lord of the Rings, and I think I watched The Hobbit, if I remember correctly. That was only once. I need to watch it again to see what I missed. Because you cannot simply just watch a movie one time. You have to watch it more than once to really grasp everything about it. It's like I've seen The Walking Dead. I've seen every episode. Well, I made it halfway through season 8 before I lost track of it. So now they're done. So now I need to go and rewatch the entire thing, including the very end, the last 2 seasons. But I can still watch all of the seasons I've seen, and I've probably watched all of those seasons probably 7 times. And there's still things I see that I've never seen before. I like The Godfather and The Notebook. I thought The Notebook was good. I had a girl. The reason why I've actually ever watched The Notebook was I started dating this girl back in Maryland, and she says, "Have you ever seen the movie The Notebook?" And I'm like, "Nope." And she says, "Well, you need to watch that because that's what I want in a relationship." And I watched it, and I was like, I went back to her, and I'm like, "So you just want to like yell and scream at each other all the time?" I mean, I know what she meant because the story overall I get, and I understand why somebody would say that. But it was just so funny. They're just like, these two just argue constantly. I don't watch as much anymore, Denise. I pretty much am a YouTube person lately. I cut the cord on cable TV a long time ago, and I just pretty much all I had YouTube. Now, when I've lived in North Dakota, when I first moved out on my own in North Dakota, I had Sling TV and I did YouTube TV for a while, and I had Hulu, which had live TV as well. And because I'd use it for my races because I wanted to watch NASCAR until I found this like pirate streaming site that I use now. But that was the main reason why I had it. But I would get like you do on Netflix when they have like the Netflix series, TV series things that it's made for Netflix. I get into those too, and because they're there and they look like something I would be interested in, and I end up binging the entire thing, like 3 or 4 seasons. But um, and that's what happened with me with Walking Dead was I knew a bunch of people. I felt kind of out of the loop with them because they were always talking about The Walking Dead, and I'd never seen it. And I finally sat down and watched it on. At that time, it was on Hulu. They had all of the seasons up to the one that they were on currently, and I watched those, and I was all caught up, and I was like halfway through the season, the current season, and then I just started watching live from then on. But I don't do a whole lot of TV and stuff now because I just don't have the access to it. So the only thing I really watch on TV at all is football and NASCAR, and I find that on a pirate streaming site that pirates the streams. So I don't, I don't have to pay for it or anything like that. But for me, mostly it's YouTube. I have quite a few YouTubers that I watch now, and it's enough keeping up with them. And my main thing I keep up with on YouTube is SpaceX and what's going on with Starship. And there's a channel called Lab Padre that does nothing but 24/7 live streaming from different. They have like 15 different cameras situated all around the Boca Chica facilities down there in Texas, and they live stream all the time. And like when the big things happen down there, like engine tests and stuff like that, you can log on to one of their cameras in their channel and watch it. And it's like you're just sitting there front row because there's nobody manning the camera. It's a remote camera that they can control remotely and everything. And so like when they did the 33 engine static fire, like I was watching it live, and the camera that I was watching on was only 79 meters away from the launch pad. So it was like a front row seat to something that, you'd never get that close to in real life. And I am a space nerd. I like hockey, Denise. I'm a big University of North Dakota hockey fan. So I like just keeping up with what's going on with them. And one of these years, I'm actually going to pay for the season so that I can stream them here and stream all the UND games. Because that was one of my favorite things to do in North Dakota, was go to the UND hockey games. They built an NHL-sized arena in Grand Forks for a college hockey team. Diane, I like baseball. I'm not a huge fan of watching it on TV. But I like going to baseball games. I used to go to a lot of MLB games when I lived in San Diego. Went to a lot of the Padres games while I was out there. My team is the Orioles, and they never do anything decent, ever. But growing up in Maryland, Orioles fan, Ravens fan when it comes to football. Now, I like baseball. I like playing baseball on like computer games. Like I play MLB The Show, and that is a great baseball game. It's about as realistic as you can get. I never understood tennis, Cats Gallery. Berta, I'm going to guess that you are a Seattle Mariners fan and probably a Seahawks fan if you're into football. Ooh, Patriots. You know what? I like the Patriots now. I didn't like them when Tom Brady played there. That's because, we were division rivals. with the Ravens, or Ravens were division rivals with the Patriots. And so I kind of disliked Tom Brady at the time. I respect everything he's done in football, but I just didn't like him. But now I'm kind of, sort of, in a way, keeping up with the Patriots because Mac Jones, the quarterback from Alabama, went there. And I'm just so hoping he ends up with a good career. I think if they can get Mac Jones some good targets on the Patriots, he's going to be one hell of a NFL quarterback. But they need to get a good team around him. And that's the same thing with Baltimore. They need to get a good team around Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson could win us a Super Bowl. But one, Lamar Jackson's a bit of a prima donna. He wants all this big guaranteed money, and the Ravens aren't going to pay him for it. So they put the non-exclusive franchise tag on him so that they can figure out exactly what he's worth. And doesn't seem like any other teams have any interest in him. Which is good for us because he's an MVP caliber quarterback. He just, he did win the MVP. But he's not worth $250 million guaranteed just because Deshaun Watson got it in Cleveland. Doesn't mean he's going to get it in Baltimore. Ooh, is it good food time? Oh my goodness, I'm late. Really? Hank? Y'all see this. Y'all need to see this. Is it good food time? Yeah. You want good food? Arya. Oh, there's Arya. She's laying on my dirty work pants that I need to take back to work to have them clean. No, you may not take my cat. He may be a jerk sometimes. He may be an asshole sometimes. He may be a pain in the ass sometimes, but I still love my Hank. Yes, I do. You want good food? Yeah? Okay. We'll get you the good food. Yes, it is, Beth. Yes, it is. So he's back on his own schedule again now. All right, y'all. Gonna go get these cats fed, get the good food given to them. Yeah, good food, Hank. Yeah. Yeah. Good food. Yeah. Okay. So I will see you all again next Sunday night, same time, same channel. And hopefully we won't have anything getting knocked over and disrupting our live halfway through. So I will see you all again. Until then, rock on, y'all. Roll Tide.